Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Pathologic. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today. I hear flamethrowers. As we go to the Crucible and have a chat with all the family, the whole family, and also go back, well, we're still exhausted. I don't like the sounds. And also go back to the cathedral, because we need to talk to Aglaya and tell her... well, actually give her the things. We have a few missions still, and it's still morning. I don't know. Actually, I've been thinking, in between episodes, I've been thinking about whether or not I had received letters, and I was like, or received, I just said receiving, and whether or not I had just missed them, but apparently not. Let's see. Oh, already? It's kind of incredible, isn't it? Anyway, it's working well. So yeah, we need to see Maria. Above, he says something different, I think. Above the statues of the mistress, the air is heavy, as though a thunderstorm was upon us. I could swear I've seen a shade of Scarlet Nina's silhouette and stature rush towards the crypt's gate. She was moving fast, but was in no hurry, as though she walked without touching the ground with her feet. You are not going to tell me that it was Nina's ghost that went to the cathedral. That must have been Maria. Somehow. Let me see Maria. It's impossible. The lady is sleeping. She cannot be disturbed now, however important an occasion. Only the lady's maids are allowed inside. They are tending to her body. Yeah, but I brought the relics to her. Here they are. You cannot go in now. If you do have them, better bring them back to Nina. She remains the Scarlet Mistress for now. Well, you're a very devoted young man. That's a good thing, I hear. And also that started that continued the quest, so that's good. The lady is not found anywhere, she says. What could have happened? She couldn't reach focus yet. Yeah, I know what happened. She was the one who was moving around without feet. It's too early for that, she says, and we would have known of the mistresses coming immediately. That's why we are assigned here in the first place. Yeah, so she says the same thing as she said before, but now I understand that a little bit better, which is great. Maria's left the Crucible, but the relic, which is interesting because I received that after I talked to this dude, not this one, the other one that's the same. Anyway, but the relics must be given to her in person, exclamation mark! It's not very common, is it? Exclamation marks in quest dialogues? Not today, anyway. I'm not gonna say that it never happened. Where did she go, I wonder? No, you don't wonder. Don't question if you wondered. Actually, how do you punctuate that? Where did she go? Question mark. I wonder. Yeah, you need to say question mark after the I wonder, don't you? Because it is a comma. Punctuation is a funny thing. Of course, the most important thing is that if you're using an abbreviation and putting periods in there, always put a period for each letter.
Few people know death. We only endure it. Usually from determination.
Oh, yeah.
And even...
Oh, even in other things that you've been saying since the beginning of the game, actually. That's a very old taunt. It's not a taunt, but anyway. So we don't know where Maria went. And actually, we might have to go to where she is. The cemetery. Could it be the cemetery? Could it be the thing behind their house? Hey, Nina. You're Nina.
The commander will hesitate no longer. He'll act while he's still in control.
Yeah, he's possessed by Nina or something. Everything will be decided tomorrow, she says. The black muzzles of the cannons ready to begin the bombardment. So this is what the dark void of death looks like. So the true nothingness with a capital N, unlike true magic with a lowercase m, can indeed be firmly grasped, with a steel ring and one of a not particularly large caliber at that. Yeah, someone's tried to assure me recently that such things cannot be grasped. The true nothing. True nothingness. And also, why do you want that? So this is what the dark void of death looks like. Because you want to kill everyone. Is that what it is? But you don't want to die. Do you want to die? These guys are truly, truly messing with nasty, nasty things. Let's go to Aglaya and see what she has to say. Nobody's shooting me, nobody's shooting anyone. Everything is fine. I'm just exhausted and hungry. But I'm still not losing health. which is great. Also, I need to go up there tomorrow. Must not forget about that. Hi, how's it going?
There is an eternal order that fate itself has predetermined. It is due to this order that things happen the way they should, following a preordained path.
Yeah, but that line of reasoning could very well justify gravity, and it's really of no consequence whatsoever, if it is indeed fate or not, because she's just acting off of what she sees rather than tests and experiments to see if it would work any other way. You know, because that's the nature of fate. You can't... Well, let's see if fate would... You can't do that. Time is linear. So, unless it isn't. Actually, that's an interesting thing. I wonder if you can make a story about fate by using non-linear time. Yes, you can. I know of at least one. Off the top of my head, I remember Steins Gate. It's very much about fate, and it also uses non-linear time. It's amazing. Well, I only saw the anime. Anyway, there's little to no time left, she says. There's still one day, it's fine. And we're only up to episodes 87. It's all good, or 97. How long? I don't... Anyway. There is a mutiny. 2 companies have gone rogue. They're trying to get the long-range weapons now. The cannons. The guns. They mention it, they call it so many things. I know that already, she says. This is really too much. Well, Block is... That's not a... Yes, that's the letter right away from the A. Block is hunting them and punishing them mercilessly. Yes, he's good at that. The worst is the fact that Dissident is... Or that Descent is shortening our time frame, and it's already out. We need to be swift. Any minute now, Block will realize that every hour of delay is biting off a quarter of his forces. Oh. Well, we'll do everything we need to by tomorrow. So he's gonna lose 12 times a quarter of his forces. He's gonna be left with no one. Because, you know, again, it's a quarter of a quarter of a quarter of a quarter, so it's not like in 4 hours he's left with no one. It's rather... Anyway. Yeah, we'll do everything. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
The senior kinds have given up life and power. Georgi confirmed it. All that for Maria.
Yeah, that's... I noticed. Do have a look. I've got the blueprint of the Foundation. Yeah, the spring that's jutted into the ground. Here it is. Take a look. So the miraculous machine turned out to be a lever... pumping poisonous organic matter from below the ground? How symbolic. There is a certain familiar logic to it, the general logic of the world structure. Don't tell me you're surprised, Bachelor. Why are you calling it a lever? So the local diggers, drillers, and engineers find sophisticated ways to screw a longest stem into the ground under... Andriy Stamatin's guidance. The polyhedral egg lies upon this stem as though it was a spring. Reminds you of a lever, doesn't it? No. No, reminds me of a piston. If anything. Even though it's not quite the same, but the force of the spring... Maybe, I don't... If the builders stirred the underground deposits when they installed the foundation, why has the outbreak only happened now? Because of the soil, she says. I think this clot used to be a pit where the steppe people would bury the remains of slaughtered bulls. There are facts to support this. I suspect it was situated above the cramps point. The pressure was gradually increasing. Perhaps the pintle was shifting. And when it got to the clot... Yeah, sounds plausible. We have found the source. I congratulate you on your victory, Daniel. Tomorrow is the last... and the hardest day. Actually, this might speak of something else here in this whole thing. First off, if this is true, it deconstructs the whole notion that she was just doubting of, oh, it's fate and whatnot. Because what most likely happened is that the Olgimskis, specifically Big Vlad, and maybe with the collusion of Mother, or whatever her name is, the little girl, the tight cheek girl, because she's also with them, I think. That he was probably responsible. When she's referring here to the bulls, I think slaughtered bulls in particular, but it's steppe people for sure, but it doesn't actually mention the butchers, which we heard of in the beginning of the game. But the slaughtered bulls, this is all to do with the termitary, which might explain many things. Many, many things. But if the Olgimskis were responsible for the trigger, well, maybe the Kanes didn't know about this, or maybe they were also accomplices, or I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me to have the Olgimskis try to sort of bring it down by poisoning the base of the tower. I don't. This has many implications. We have found the source, she says. I congratulate you on your victory. Tomorrow is the last. Yeah, I should have found the source on the first day. That's how yeah. I congratulate you too. It's our common victory. See you at the meeting at the headquarters tomorrow. Yes, I'll come. And that's the second ending to this mission. So we still have Maria. So we still need to figure out where Maria is. And that is going to be interesting. And also, I need to sleep. Maria hasn't... Maybe she's going to send me a letter. It's just going to be like, hey, so, I've been... Yeah, well, it's fine. Just come and meet me. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I've been thinking, because let me... Yeah, there it is. Okay, that's good. It's midday. So I've been thinking... because Keith Ballard is playing this game, as I mentioned before, and at the beginning he was having a lot of trouble finding food. I didn't have trouble. I don't remember if anybody pointed it out to me. I think not. I think he's finding the shops. Of course, I didn't realize that the price was gonna go up on the second day, and I spent a lot of money in the beginning, but it was okay. But I do remember something, which is drinking from a fountain. And I don't remember how I did that, because I think it lowered my hunger. And he was having trouble with the hunger, because he couldn't find food, because you need to buy it from shops, for the most part. At least at the beginning, you definitely do. And I was thinking, I wonder if you can just drink, and yes, your exhaustion is going to go up, but you're going to sleep right next. It doesn't go above that point, so it's fine. I wonder if Maria is over there. I mean, it wouldn't be too far away. I still have time. It's gonna be fine. I think now starts the second part of this day, which is us going around a bunch, seeing. Well, I'm gonna probably sleep most of the day away. I think I got lucky. I think on this day I got lucky and did all the things in order. So these guys are not doing anything. It's just so weird that you are like that. Sort of bent forward and weird. We got a kid over there, which is fantastic. We have a lady over there that fixes things, which is also fantastic. Let me go ahead and have a chat with her. Hi, ma'am. I need you to fix all my things. Thank you very much. And I don't remember how I got that much money all of a sudden. I remember jumping from having having little money to a lot of money. Let's see. So he's got a couple of little drugs. Little drugs, that's right. Let's sell you that. Unfortunately, that's more expensive than a knife. Well, it's not too bad. Let's send you 2 knives. And that's 1. And now I'm gonna need 4 more. Which shouldn't be a problem. Well, there it is. Got more drugs to give to people. See you later, little guy. Yeah, I want to come back here. This door is exactly the same as the door at the cemetery. It's basically the same door, except... Do I see something different over there? No. Thought I saw one of those plague doctors up there. Well, let's see if she's here. So that's a statue. This must be where the mistresses are. These don't do anything. It's just a thing. But there's another statue back there. I think there's a passage. I've never been back here. Have I? We found her! She doesn't say anything? No, she says. This is definitely not me. Not your Maria anymore, but neither the scarlet one yet. Nothing of mine is here. Touch my flesh, and your hand will only feel hair. Also, interesting way of... there's a lot of typos later on in the game, aren't there? Well, it makes sense, actually. Well, here are the signs of acknowledgement from Clara and Capella. I've done that. They send their regards to you, Dark Mistress. The Scarlet Mistress. Did her eyes all of a sudden become a little bit more vampiric in nature? But it matters not. So if a miracle happens, if those who must remain alive by my design are still alive by tomorrow, is the merciless powers that be disregard us? That's typos. If the merciless powers that be disregard us like they used to, then we will be able to contest the ruthless law of existence. The dream will prevail. There will be a new utopia. A new utopia. What is a utopia or an utopia? Do you say a utopia or do you say an utopia? I suppose it would be an N. An utopia? I suppose. Why would anyone need a utopia? It's a chimera. Nothing more. Probably, she says. But luckily for us, even the most well-adjusted mechanisms fail. And the two worlds do still touch sometimes. Antibodies collide, and then they go against the law of self-preservation, merging into a wondrous symbiosis rather than dying. This is the state of utopia, an earthly form of an unearthly miracle. And so, I say, you have constructed this tower, or this town, not tower, town? Is this what an embodied miracle looks like? Yes, she says, we have. We could have created a mind-boggling place of rock, crystal, sapphire walls, emerald roofs, and ruby pavements. Why didn't you? That sounds amazing. A place akin to those you're used to seeing in children's fairy tales about fairy countries. But this place is inhabited by people of flesh and blood. Why are you so surprised? Why the dirt and the petty pedestrianism, then? Why so lame? I ask. Why the disheveled walls, the rusty beams, the drain covers? Ugh, gross. Don't have covers in the drains? Anyway, is this really what a utopia looks like? Precisely, she says. This is what differentiates a utopia from a dream. There is a top in utopia. And don't let the word deceive you. It's all about what's down below. It requires dirt. A ruby firmament needs something to sit atop. Otherwise, it'll topple. A utopia can appreciate the earthly and the humane in their raw homeliness. That is why we have the blood-stained abattoir, the rotten fields, the dens, and earth, the collective name of the poorer districts itself. That's kind of the opposite of utopia, actually. That's precisely the dystopia. Right? If you need people to be crappy to appreciate the people that are not, that's the dystopia bit. That's what defines the utopia. It's because the world has always lived in this sort of state where there's the well-off and there's the famine. What's the word? The people with famine. I'm trying to sort of stretch the definition to as many cultures and as many times as possible throughout human history and prehistory as well. At least proto-history, because we don't really have access to that bit in prehistory, at least. Well, a little bit. There's nothing that confirms that there has been a utopia in prehistoric times, or prehistoric times. But anyway, a utopia would always have to be, that's why it's unachievable, or people think it's unachievable, that it is good for everyone. That's an utopia. And people say, oh, it's an utopia, it can't exist because its mere existence undermines itself. If you agree with her that to like or to see the value of the special, you need to have those who are not, or those who are worse off, So it isn't a utopia by any definition. Whether you agree that a utopia can exist or not, it's a dystopia. And I'm gonna go full on with it because I'm following the Canes. Canes, where have you gotten me? I'm too deep in this crap by now. You shouldn't have merged the extremes. Couldn't you have looked for a compromise? Wait a minute, what? Did she... Am I mistaking what she's saying? Because I might be mistaking what she's saying. It's hard to... It's hard. It's hard. I make no apologies. I'm sorry. Well, let's go with this one. Is that so? Ellipses. A utopia, she says, needs the cult of bulls. A living echo of the time when the human and the bestial world sung in unison. Beastliness lies at the heart of our civilization. Dirt, blood, manure, devourment, skins, meat, and bone tools. This is what the human civilization of creators originates from. Beastliness lies at the heart of our civilization. A utopia is a living echo of the time when humans and the bestial world sung in unison. I always have a lot of trouble detaching the notion in myths or in history or in religion. When I say history, the attitudes of historians, not necessarily what actually happened or the correct interpretation of history. But there are a few cultures throughout history and in the modern world that do see their origins in sort of a more of a bestial, sort of a more uncultured. And she's actually going through does she actually say those words? She doesn't actually, but sort of more uncultured culture. That's the whole point. Uncultured culture of them having having preceded their actual society at the time, or what the society is. And I always have a lot of trouble differentiating that from the disdain of others who aren't as cultured, let's put it like that, as you. So I do wonder if the undertone here is that, because it seems very obvious, seems very center point here that she's doing that. Are we trying to ascertain that the Canes see themselves as superhuman, sort of? When I say superhuman, above others. And also she says our civilization. She's not. I don't think she's talking about the country that this game takes in, or the world at large. I think she is saying precisely about this town. It could have far-reaching consequences, but I think she's mentioning her own civilization. I might be wrong, but either way, it is important to focus on that point, that she is very much, by embracing her roots as bestial, she's very much putting herself above bestial, which would then allow her to say, oh, those are still beasts, to those who don't embrace the cult of the bulls or whatever. In here, dirt, blood, manure. Lovely. How is it miraculous, though? Earth, she says, represents the miracle of the anthropophobic step, which would be the step that doesn't like people, merging with the human world. The settlement represents the miracle of turning a society of devourers into a society of creators. The very logic of this town's existence is a miracle in and of itself. When the process of its creation has reached a peak, the cathedral has been built. It's been a failure, though. A failure that you're trying to fix with the polyhedron. That's why you created it. Yes, the tower on the other side has become the representation of a final metamorphosis, the miracle of merging the realm of possibilities with the realm of the impossible. Well, if it's also perfect, why is there a plague? I don't know. And Daniel, she says. Yeah, probably it would make sense. If she's telling the truth, and I believe she is, because at the beginning of the game we're told that they always tell the truth, even if they sort of tell different parts of it. But she's actually saying she doesn't know, and if we're to believe her, the game might be just not paying attention to that, of course, because she's right away telling us it's not our fault. Which... it could still be not your fault, but you know about it. I think it is Olgimski's. I think they are the ones that did this. The town could not bear this tension, this heat, she says. Oh well, we shall restart it then. There is no death. We do not fear it. See, dead and incorporeal, I am still present. Yeah, that's right, we're talking to a ghost. A restless soul, destined to come back eternally. Well, I'm not really sure if we can test if she's a ghost or not. I see. Interesting, we don't really have a choice here, but of course, that's the way our character goes. Now I understand. And with that, did we finish the quest? Yes, we did. So these are the steps of the mistress. These are no longer the decisions of a child in exhalation, but the strategies worthy of a ruler. I won't hesitate to lead the children out of the tower at her behest, but the source of the disease must be eradicated first. Yeah, makes sense. But we're out of time for the day, so for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Pathologic. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.